Hey guys, this is Adrian, your real estate Warsaw insider, and today we're gonna talk about architects. And I've been interviewing more than 20 to 30 architects. I've been getting different bids. I just want to tell you, as a developer, or even if you're doing a renovation inside the flat, definitely interview more than one architect. Yeah, I had no idea what I was looking for, and now I'm getting a better idea of how it's working. So usually you think about price and design. I mean, if you think about those two things, you're already ahead of the curve. But I've discovered that there are many more factors that you need to think about. So here are my tips to you and to my old self, what to look for in architect. So, of course, price of the project. And here's the thing, you need to know exactly what you want in your project, or as closest to it as possible, because many architects might give you the price, but then do add-ons later on and change orders. So if you ask for the same thing from each architect, otherwise you're getting different. If you're doing, for example, interior architecture, and one architect is saying to you, okay, I'll do the designs, but then doesn't provide like 3D visualizations, well, that's different, because those things cost and they have to outsource it to someone and get it done. Another thing is, are they local? Because I would want my architect to come and check out the flat, see that it's going as planned, and are they going to help in the process of ordering materials, searching for the materials, getting Excel sheets. So these things are about the inside architecture. Yeah? If you want, I can do another video and go more thoroughly into that. But if we're talking about development, it's even more important. Holy mother of God. So you would think that if they know how to design a building, if they know how to use AutoCAD, the program that they use, they're fine. They know the rules and they can make designs, but that's not the truth. So here's the thing. The architects, if they have experience, not only, but if they care about their work, if they're proud of their work, they might be even optimizing the building, every little cost. Some of them might not even know how to optimize the costs, yeah? Which walls to put first and which walls should come after, and what kind of pillars to use and what kind of constructors, which means building engineers they work with. All of these things matter. So the architect that you're using, are they going to have a good price from their constructor? Are you going to get a good bid in the end? Yeah. And for example, I've been talking to a few architects, and some of them want upfront payment, yeah, for like 60%, and then after the project is finished on their side, they want the full payment, and that's not going to work. So again, there are many factors, yeah? Are they going to be local? What is going to be the price for the thing that you want? What's the payment plan? Are you going to pay them upfront, or are you going to pay them mostly after they get the building permit? Because that's what we need as developers, yeah? So usually what I've learned from Rosson Jabracha, Pavel Preissner, and the other developers that I'm working with, you would do 20% upfront, something, maybe 5% just to get them started. When you get the accepted concept, you give the next tranche, and when they get the building permit, you pay the last tranche, yeah? And actually there's something after that which is important, and that's the use permit. So the permit that allows people to move in, and if you can put a small percentage for that also, and they help you with that, they're not going to be super happy with that because they're not physically doing the job. But if you can do that, that would be a great benefit. So if we're talking about other factors, this is one of the most important things, and I think I'm giving you guys a hack, and I feel like someone should have told me this before, but especially for building permits, you are looking at some architects who know the technical rules, and they might do good designs and they give you a great price, but then they don't know the people who are giving the building permits. So if your architect does not have good relationship or good connections, or is not a good social person, man, you might have big problems down the line, and you might have a lot of delays because the urzędnicy, or the people at the offices, the bureaucrats, they're not allowing them the building permit, and they have fights between each other and the architects, yeah? So that's another important thing that you need to think about. When I'm looking for architects, now I'm looking for local architects, and later on when you're building the building, you want them to come and visit, yeah? You want them to come and visit, to see it. So these are like soft skills that you would basically not be able to see on the price tag, yeah? You have to interview them, and are they going to be fast? Do they like you? How technical do they seem? Yeah, I had an architect who told me, I never work on the weekends. Weekends are for family. I'm like, yeah, true, but I don't feel good when I hear that. As a client, I want my architect to be ready to work at the weekends. You want to be with your family, but then I'm also thinking, like, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to cook breakfast, dinner, and clean the house every weekend? I mean, you're gonna, I don't know, maybe I'm a workaholic, I'm just a learn-aholic, I like to learn. And even if I have a family, man, I'm gonna spend like 3 hours, 4 hours with them, maybe during the weekend, each day of the weekend, not the full day. So Poland's culture is very, very weekend oriented, and I'm sure it has to do with the culture and religious activities and family activities. But anyways, I would want an architect who is answering me fast. If I call them on the weekend and they pick up and they are friendly, that's a huge plus for me. Yeah? And it's not a requirement, but just the feeling, like how much do they like their work. And when you sit with them and interview, I had another interview with a different architect, and she's like, yeah, so here, I showed her the plan, the city plan. Yeah, it's like 2 parkings per building. That's what it said. 2 miejsca postojowe za budynek or segment. And she was reading this and she was like, oh, well, okay, you're gonna have 4 apartments here, and 2 times 4 is 8. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not what it says. It says 2 per building, okay? So here's the thing. Even if they have, it was a she, very specific type of lady that I was interviewing. Even if they have experience, it doesn't mean they will understand the laws. So as a developer, you have to kind of become a part-time lawyer, yeah? And part-time architect. And I've had discussions with other architects, and many of them confirm that it's 2 per building, right? So it means every building by Poland rules can have 2 units. So basically you can have 1 per unit if it's 2 per building, and each building has 2 locale or units. Well, it means 1 per unit, yeah? So when I interview architects, I'm seeing like, do they understand these details? Because that's how I see, do they have the knowledge, yeah? Then I even ask them like, how do you feel about this government officials in this city and compared to other cities? And kind of I'm trying to gauge what's their approach, how do they feel towards these kind of people? And since I know the names, I'm asking them, oh, what do you think about, for example, Mr. Yusuf? Yeah, and they might say, oh, he doesn't understand anything. And some architect might say, yeah, I have a good relationship. But then you talk with other architects and they're like, yeah, that guy doesn't know anything. And that guy doesn't even have the power to give the permit, even though he might be the director of that let's say the director of that branch, and he has the last power. But I read the Atlas Shrugged. It's all about how weak men give responsibilities away. And anyway, some architects said that, for example, this person didn't take any responsibility. So even if he says this is fine, then later on the inspection might not approve it. Yeah. So these are real problems that we have to deal with. Yes. These are real problems, and some architects you will kind of, after interviewing the first 10, I learned a lot of things from each architect. I'm learning something just by interviewing them, just by gauging like, what do they know? What can they teach me about this project? Yeah. And in the end, I compare who has the best knowledge, the best connection with me, and how is their website? Are they organized? That's another thing I'm looking at. What kind of lighting do they have on the building? What kind of inside design they have? How fast do they answer your emails? How fast did they prepare an offer? I had an architect which I loved, and I thought I'm gonna choose him, but in the end it seems that I will not. And man, I'm still waiting for his offer after 2 months, and he's blaming it on his subcontractor. But again, a person who is blaming already is a red flag for me, because I have the responsibility for myself and everything that I do. If I choose a bad architect and I blame it on them, that's my fault. I chose them and he chose their subcontractors. So just telling you, like, in general. Another thing that I think about is, are they socially witty? Are they fun? Are they friendly? And this, again, these are soft skills, but it's important for me to feel like I'm in good hands. And if they're nice to me, if I like them, well, it's a high chance that the officials are gonna like them, and the people who we're gonna be working with and optimizing the design are gonna like them. So again, I'm pretty sure you were not ready for these things, but these are important when I'm interviewing an architect. And another very important thing, this might be the last tip that I'll give for today, is, are they going to be doing the project for you? So here's the thing, many of the architectural firms, they are outsourcing the nitty-gritty designs, and they're just approving it. This doesn't need to be bad, but many times if they're not doing the design themselves, there might be mistakes, there might be non-optimized structures. So something that I do usually ask is like, okay, who is going to do the design? Do I have direct contact to the experienced architect? Yeah, it's better to have a less experienced architect that you're interviewing and give them the job than to have a super experienced one, maybe, that has a student which makes the drawings and then they approve it. Yeah. just again, what kind of quality of and you're gonna pay more if they're putting their own time into designing that, yeah. And then just to make sure, you can actually ask them like technical questions. For example, I had some problems with the, not problems, but we had to pay attention to some things, for example, as the road, the entry, what is a public road? You know, there's a definition for that. It's not just a road is public because everyone can use it. There has to be uchwała gmina, which means the city has to make some papers and call this a public road, and it has to be approved. So, and then some other technical details in the construction you can always ask from, like, oh, what kind of wall should we have? What kind of energy class? If we use this kind of brick and that brick, you can ask these things just to gauge like where they are. And here's the thing, if you see that they're patient, that's another green flag for me. Are they patient? I had an interview with an architect for like 2 hours, and I love this guy. He's just so late in responding and submitting his offers, and his price was quite high. But I loved the way he was patient. He had super good technical knowledge. In the end, because of the high price, and I think I have some other options which might be better, I'm gonna choose someone else. But yeah, important, patience, knowledge. Are they gonna be doing the project? Are you gonna have good connection with them? Do they have good payment terms with you? So pay attention to all these things. Join our Facebook group, ask some questions if you have questions about other things, and I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to meet you if you come to Warsaw, and check out this other video if you haven't already. See you there.